Okay, so this is the reason why you'll never be able to learn a language the conventional way. Memorizing vocabulary, grammar, all that kind of shit. You will never work. I know a lot of you just want the solutions, but I just want to emphasize the importance of understanding why it doesn't work. Because if you don't, in moments where you feel you're getting stuck, no matter what methods that you're trying, you'll retreat to the most comfortable way of learning English, and that's often the traditional way, memorizing vocabulary, basically rote learning. So understanding why is super important. Once you do, you know that whether I do it or not, if I do it this way, it's just gonna be a waste of time. I'd rather spend that time watching Uncle Roger making fun of people making fried rice.
What's she doing? Drain the... Oh my god! You're killing me, woman! Hiya!
So why it doesn't work? Well, the first reason is language is super vast and complex to be learned word by word, rule by rule. It's almost impossible. Language is infinite. Well, our time is finite. Let me throw you some numbers. So, average American adults possess 40 to 150,000 vocabulary. Children at school, and I'm not talking about second language learner, I'm actually talking about native kids. They learn 8 to 14 new words per day at school. At that speed, if you want to reach 40,000 vocabulary, how long that's gonna take you? Do the math. It's mission impossible. And we haven't even started to talking about a word has more than one meaning, and you also need to understand in what context you can use it, how do you pronounce it. You also need to understand the grammar. There are a lot more to language than mere vocabulary. So learning a language word by word, rule by rule, it's just not fast and efficient enough to get to today's proficient level. Reason number 2, we need to look at the efficiency of this traditional way of learning English, basically instruction and correction. So how efficient it is. If it is somewhat efficient at a reasonable range, like it actually does work, you just need to do a little bit more work, I'm fine with that. I have motivation, I can push through, I can show up every single day. As long as you tell me it's gonna work, I'll do it. So that's not a problem. The problem is, it probably doesn't work. So this is a research done in New Zealand. They divided the students into 2 different groups. One group of students are offered grammar lessons every week, and the other group, they did not receive any grammar lesson. And researchers tracked them for about 3 years. Every single year, they tested their grammar knowledge, and the results were consistent. There were no difference. And this is not a solitary study. It's a study that's been replicated in a lot of different locations, in Singapore, in Sri Lanka, in South Africa, and the results were consistent, no difference. So whether you do grammar or not, it's not gonna make a big difference. Basically, that shit doesn't work. But just to clarify, when I said they didn't receive any grammar lesson, instead, they did something else by doing nothing. We'll talk more about that later. Now let's move on to the third point. Here we need to ask one very important question. That's, is linguistic ability possible without instruction? Without having a teacher like teaching us this word means that, this is how the rule works, and this is an exception for this rule, blah 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 blah. Is it possible for us to naturally acquire language ability? If it is, then we don't need to waste the time studying, memorizing, all that kind of stuff. Does that make sense? So, is it possible? And history shows us that it is possible. And remember in middle school we learned I Have a Dream, from Martin Luther King. Around the same time, there's another guy promoting equality called Malcolm X. He was locked down behind a bar for many years. He was illiterate going into the prison. But in the prison, he acquired literacy through mere reading, without any instruction. Another historical case, a girl who was terrible at writing, she was basically at the bottom of the class, but during one summer holiday, she started reading, and she read, and came back. She significantly improved her English proficiency, and she wrote a piece of essay and submitted it to the teacher, and the teacher was thoroughly convinced she cheated, because a lot of words that she used was way beyond around her level, especially considering she was so bad before the summer. In these two cases, and what they share in common, and also those students that didn't receive grammar lessons in the class somehow was able to catch up. Those students who actually did receive grammar lesson, they didn't do nothing, they did reading. And not just any kind of reading, but a specific type of reading called free voluntary reading, which is sibling to comprehensible input. Basically, it's something you voluntarily want to read. Probably means you're actually intrigued by the thing that you're reading. You have this strong burning desire and curiosity to find out more, so that you want to read. And these cases in research show that it is actually possible to acquire linguistic ability without instruction, without receiving grammar lessons, memorizing vocabularies, or going to school, stuff like that. It is possible. I'll talk more about free voluntary reading in my next video. So I'm thinking about doing a series for comprehensible input theory. How do you use that to study? Because a lot of people are pretty drawn to this concept. A lot of people are actually practicing this way of learning English. So I just thought, you guys might be interested in that. And also, there are a lot of problems to it. In the next video, I'll explain why reading may work. Comprehensible input reading may actually help you to truly master language. But mind you, I said it may work. So we'll also explore why a lot of people are saying they're using comprehensible input theory to study English or any other languages, but not quite get there. What's the reason behind that? Why it works for some people? And when I say some people, that's actually a pretty small group of people. The majority of people, they don't really see any results from comprehensible input. We'll explore the reasons for that as well. So if this is something that you are interested in, stay tuned. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. I'm super excited. My language course is now open for enrollment. It doesn't teach grammar, vocabulary, whatever. That shit didn't work then. It's not gonna work now. The reason why you get stuck with your language learning is not because you aren't working hard enough. It's actually because you're working way too hard the wrong way. Forcing your brain to do things it doesn't like to do, memorizing vocabulary, grammar, whatever. Of course you get stuck. Stop doing that. Learn how your brain processes language, remember things, master skills. Learn in the way that your brain operates and enjoys. You supercharge your learning efficiency. This is what the course is all about. To make your learning easy and fun so that you want to come back for more and more every single day. You literally get addicted to learning. Isn't that cool? It's super cool. If you're tired of English getting in the way of living the best possible life that you deserve to live, if you don't want to waste any more time, now's your chance. I'll see you there.